Welcome to the podcast. Uncommon Chris here, presenting another installment of our gaming group's introductory experience with Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. The format of our tale is a mix of actual play with audio drama elements. If you are enjoying these episodes, we'd love if you could take the time to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. It would help us out a lot. So, pour a glass of whatever you fancy, throw another log on the fire, and settle into that wing-back chair. It's time for Cthulhu at Night. The Old Ones ruled the earth aeons before the rise of man. Traces of their cyclopean cities can still be found on remote islands buried amid the shifting desert sands and in the frozen wastes of the polar extremes. Originally, they came to this world from the stars. They sleep now, some deep within the earth or beneath the sea. When the stars are right, they shall again walk the earth. The danger of the house is revealed while the investigators race to uncover the secrets within. Our keeper this evening is Brad. Investigator Jerome Ackland is played by Greg. Investigator Chad Pennington is played by Brennan, and Investigator Rex Rogers is played by yours truly. Edge of Darkness, Part 4.
All right, so let's start with Rex heading out the door.
All right, although it's a little multi-purpose, I'm going to go to my car first quick and pop the trunk, and I'm going to get my 30-odd lever action carbine.
Get over to your vehicle, you pop the trunk, lock and load your carbine.
Okay, then I'm going to head out I'll follow the direction. Is it partially treed? Is it tall grass? What are we working with?
He basically ran in the direction of where you found the body of Maggie, so straight east. And there's a huge tree line about, 200 yards out? Let me see here.
We found the body just inside the tree line, wasn't it?
Yeah, just on the edge. Yeah, about 200 yards is then tree line where you found the body. And that's the way you're kind of walking through this grassy field.
Well, even running at a full tilt, how much ground do I figure he reasonably could have covered?
Halfway.
Okay. At a good clip, I'll just kind of jog in that direction. I do have that survival forest, so I don't know if I'm trying to track him maybe through busted down tall grass. I know we're not quite in a tree line or a forest, or if that's too much of a stretch to apply it. Could I maybe apply it for tracking purposes?
I'll let you roll it. Yeah, for sure.
That is a hard success. 22.
So yeah, you're tell me of the approach, how you're walking onto this field.
Was it moonlit tonight? I can't recall.
Yeah, the moon is intermittent. It's a little bit, some cloud cover obscuring it a little bit, but yeah, there's some light. It's pretty dark though.
Okay. I'm not going to run around with my firearms in my hand. I'll have my carbine shouldered. I will have it loaded and ready to go. The pistol is back in my chest holder. I'll just kind of check myself. I'll get low to the tall grass and I'll kind of look. Obviously, he was busting out at a fast pace, so he wasn't being careful. So I'll just try and see where the most obvious signs of disturbed, broken grass and stuff are. And hopefully I try and pick up his trail like that. And as I find it, I will break out into a light jog in the direction of that path.
Okay.
Unless I'm misreading how the scene was set up, I don't think he could have been gone more than a few minutes or a couple minutes. So
yeah, like maybe like 2 minutes, like 2-3 minutes tops, like with this like quick chat between you and Jerome. It wasn't long, like not even 2-3 minutes. I shouldn't say that, like a minute.
Yeah,
a minute to two.
So maybe I'll take 5 minutes with, or maybe 5-10 minutes total to see if I can spot anything of interest or unfortunates.
So with your roll already, not before too long, as you're walking into into like this tall grass, your light picks up the top of the tall grass, like a crimson sort of color.
Okay, I'll crouch a little low to it and just kind of bring up a red blade of grass to my nostrils and kind of see if it kind of smells like blood, like that iron.
Coppery, coppery kind of smell. Yep, you know what blood is, and this would be it.
Shit. All right. I'll look for any signs of a struggle. I'll maybe kind of start doing a bit of a slower sweep at this point where I've detected this first sign of blood.
As you take a few steps further, just a bit past this first, these few first blades that were covered in blood, there is a huge swath of blood in front of you as your flashlight kind of picks it up. And then while you're standing there, you hear this kind of ear-piercing scream just let out, and it takes your eyes, it makes you like look straight up into the night, and in the darkness and the moonlight kind of shine between it, you see this like tangling vortex rolling through the air and heading straight into like to the farmhouse high above you.
Oh shit.
And with seeing this, I need you to make a sanity roll for me.
Of course. Yes, success, 36. Woo!
So yeah, you see this, what the? As you see it just rolling and just flying straight towards the farmhouse, going at a pretty incredible speed.
Before you cut back to those guys, I'm going to quickly unshoulder the carbine, and I want to take a couple pot shots at it. Trying to distract it, but more so trying to warn them at the farmhouse that I've encountered something.
Yeah, you can take the shots for sure. At the speed it's moving, for you to like shoulder and aim, like the shots don't really, like you said, like they don't hit.
It's more just to make the percussion noise and
right.
Try and
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll cut to Chad and Jerome exploring the basement.
So I'll head over to the shelves and take a look at these shelves that Rex said.
Oh yeah, so you guys head down there, both of you are down there with your flashlights on, so it kind of illuminates all the cellar. Like I said before, it's low ceiling kind of deal. You can see like there's some chairs located against the wall at the base of the steps. There's obviously the table with the missing leg down there. Shelves line one wall, which is where you went to Rome. There's cans and boxes that sit on these shelves. There's a tarp in one corner. It looks like there's a couple boxes over there. That looks like there's bottles associated to those boxes kind of deal in another corner. There's a pile of lumber that you guys can sort of see. There is a ladder as well that's sort of propped up along one of the walls, a large like 8-foot ladder kind of deal. Yeah, so Jerome, the first thing you said you wanted to go take a look at was the shelves, right?
Yep.
The shelves sort of line the whole cellar wall. There's like old canned food, different kind of bottles, empty containers. And on the lower shelves, you can identify some good bottles of liquor.
Kind of pick up a can and take a look at it and maybe grab a bottle of liquor and inspect it, but kind of just put things back.
All right. Chad, what do you want to take a look at down in this basement?
The liquor. There's the shelves, there's a ladder, there was, what else did you say, sorry?
Yeah, there's a tarp in the far corner. There is a pile of lumber.
Yeah.
There's the broken table.
And the tarp is folded or it's covering something.
It looks like it's covering something.
Okay.
And then there's just other kind of furniture material around.
Okay. I will go towards the tarp, actually. And I will tap whatever is under it with my walking stick, my own cane that I carry around.
You can hear like a thunking noise. Like a hollowish kind of thunking noise, what you'd hear from like a trunk or something.
All right. I'll lift that tarp up.
All right. As you pull the tarp back, you see a pretty well-sized trunk. It's a nice black trunk. It's like an expensive-looking travel trunk. You can see straps that are fastened and the latches are secured on it. That's what's sitting there.
What do you suppose is inside this, Jerome?
No idea, but we should probably check it out.
shine my flashlight at the latch. Is there a padlock on it?
No, just two of the classic latches on either end, right?
Oh, let's see if I can't pop those open and slowly open the top.
All right. As you open the top and shine your flashlight in, you guys see a folded black cloth with a handwritten letter resting on top. And on the underside of the lid, as you lean it back, you can see a warding sigil carved there. Same thing that was either put on the attic door, the trap door to the attic, and the windows and everything else. Similar.
Another one of these symbols.
Is that to keep something in the trunk or out?
Oof. Well, I don't know.
I feel if it was to keep something in, it might have had more of a lock on to keep it secure.
Yeah, I think, but maybe that acted as a lock.
But wouldn't they not want somebody like us to open it?
It's a good point. Maybe they thought just no one would ever come here. Take a look at this letter. Hand my flashlight to Jerome and I'll open it up.
I'll kind of shine it on the letter.
I don't know why I'm putting this down on paper. It's probably a bad idea, and I feel the need to leave some kind of explanation for my actions and intent. When I took the sarcophagus from my uncle, I did not think it would be missed. I expected to be able to research it and return it later. I was such a fool. Despite believing in the powers we tried to summon, I grossly misunderstood the consequences. Now Robert is dead, and Harold a madman. I'm going back to the farmhouse to organize our things. I dread stepping foot again in that place, but I must make sure that our materials will be available again when we need them. Since the others are too shaken to attempt a banishment of the creature, I can only hope that the thing hasn't the power to remain in our reality more than a few hours or days. At least it's bound to the house itself. I shall search for a means to destroy it before the last of us passes from this world and its release from the house, if it is still there. I believe I know where I can find the knowledge I need to drive the creature away without assistance from others. I hear tales of mystics in New Orleans that know much of the true magics of the world. I am leaving the gold box in Rupert's care. I told him not to sell it or have it appraised by anyone, but did not tell him why. He also seemed puzzled by my insistence not to live in Boston, but I believe he trusts my judgment not to go into danger unwittingly. My uncle does not know about our dark brotherhood, so Rupert and the others will be safe from anyone looking for it. I'll be back to put things right again. The letter continues. P.S. I write this before I close the lid on the trunk. The thing is still in the attic of the house. Oh my. It seemed to recognize me. It spoke foul curses at me. I will carve protective wards on the trunk to prevent any tampering with its contents, just in case. Well, that answers one of our questions. I do not like reading that sentence that it's in the attic.
Maybe we better grab this stuff and get out of here.
I'm going to see what's under this blanket.
As you guys pull back this, it's not really a blanket from when you grab it. As you pull it out, you can see another black layer, and it looks like as you lift out this fabric, it is a black robe. And as you keep pulling out the fabrics, there's 6 folded black robes that you remove from the trunk. And then below that, you see a cigar box and then a sheaf of yellowed papers.
Okay. We'll give the yellow papers to Jerome to take a look at, and I'll take a look at the cigar box.
So right as you hand the yellow papers over to Jerome and you're just about to reach out to the cigar box, you hear some popping noises. And to both of you, it's like what you guys can identify as gunshots going off.
Rex found something. We better go.
No. Let's go.
I grab the papers, and if I can grab a cloak and run out the door.
I will leave without grabbing anything. I'm not even going to grab the cigar box. I'll leave it for now.
Yeah, you guys sort of bolt up the stairs. Rex, we're going to cut back to you as you take these shots.
Okay.
And you see this that swirling kind of smoky vortex kind of thing just like sink into the top of the farmhouse as I'm guessing you're running towards it or jogging towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make it there and you guys sort of meet up at the entranceway to the farmhouse. You sort of see Rex like racing up with his carbine.
Call out to him like, what's the matter? What are you doing?
Red's dead. That thing can get out of the house, but it just came back. I saw it. I've seen what it looks like.
What does it look like?
I couldn't even describe it to you. And if I did, I don't think you'd want to know. It's,
safe right here?
I don't know if we're safe, but it returned to the attic, so it might have to return to the attic for some reason.
Maybe after a kill?
I don't know. All I found left of Rex was spray of red mist over the grasses. Or not Rex, Red.
Oh, it didn't just take his heart this time.
Didn't see no body. Mind you, after I found the scene that I did, I heard this ear-piercing scream, much like Red told us, and my eyes were drawn skyward and I saw this thing. And it flew back to the house, went into the attic, just kinda looked like it went in right through the wall. That's when I was taking shots at it. Knew I couldn't hit it, but I was trying to get your attention.
Went in through the wall? Like, some kind of phantom?
I don't know. All I know is from the angle I saw, it looked like it just sank right in through the roof. And that was it. Didn't pay no mind to my shots or anything.
Doesn't make any sense.
Isn't that the point?
Can I kind of inspect these papers and see if there's anything of use that jumps out right away?
As you guys are basically standing at the threshold of the door, with Rex still standing outside, Rex, your eyes are sort of like drawn up to see the sigil just resting above the door. And you guys, all three of you, get like a very, very heavy sense of rotting meat smell.
Oh, might be getting close.
Yeah.
We should get in the basement.
Or do we get out of the house?
This thing moves too fast. It can run us down, no problem. What'd you find? We need to get where it's a bit safer.
We found a trunk downstairs. Maybe
Trunk. Yeah.
come in and get this door closed?
Yeah, move now.
Back up out of the door and make way for Rex to come in and slam the door behind him.
After Jerome reaches and slams the door, there's a silence that sort of carries over as you guys stand in the room. There's still this odor, this rotting odor kind of floating and wafting everywhere, now to a stronger kind of smell. As you guys stand there in the silence, you can sort of hear this just above you, like a clicking noise.
The latch to the attic. I'm going to go run over there and take a look at it.
So you jog over and you shine the flashlight up at the trap door. You still see the sigil on it. There's no lock on it, but it's there and it's closed still.
I wonder if those sigils are keeping us safe. Keeping the thing in there.
Maybe it can't get into this house. Was Red talking about it being in the house? Where did he see
I think
it?
he got spooked and he left, and that's when the thing got him outside, or attempted to get him. And then he got as far as the tree line, and that's maybe as far as the thing could travel, courtesy of some of these protective wards.
And then maybe Maggie just happened to be in the area.
She's just too far out or something? I don't know.
Well,
I'm trying to make sense of this.
Maybe this thing isn't strong enough to get far enough from the house at this point. And people in the fields are easy pickings.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That, or what if they got it wrong? You know, they had that list, but what if it's not accurate? Maybe it just can't realize its full extent of abilities or something. I don't know.
Well,
What's on those papers? Take a look.
Yeah, Professor, can we stop it?
all right. And I'll just kind of mumble as I start looking and sorting through the papers. I wonder if these sigils are keeping it outside of the house instead of, like, outside of the main area of the house instead of, so I can get out of the attic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't get back into the house.
Yeah, so as you're shuffling through these papers, it looks like they're handwritten notes, all dated from 1877. All the sheets are in Marion Allen's handwriting. And as you shuffle through, you can sort of identify. So one sheet sort of identifies the Latin chant. It looks like it's in Latin. One sheet contains a description of a pentagram. And then 3 sheets discuss the procedure, or it looks like a procedure and how they're laid out. And the rest of the 6 sheets are all the same. And they're all copies of the same looking like Latin document that you have.
Like exact copies.
Exact copies. I'll send you guys these shots of them so you can see what I'm talking about here. So yeah, one looks to be straight out in Latin, which you don't have any other languages, do you? Or do you?
I took German.
Okay. With taking another language, and yeah, you kind of, I'll say you could probably identify it as, yeah, this is most likely Latin from your knowledge.
Looks like we got some Latin on here, and there's this pentagram and some procedures. Looks like maybe what they did back in 1870s.
It's the summoning.
Yeah, I think so. Here, let's take a closer look.
So you got 1 copy of the first sheet, 6 copies of the second sheet that just came up there, 1 copy of the pentagram, and then 3 pages that kind of outline instructions.
It looks like the Second page is the English translation of the Latin.
Yeah, and there's 6 copies of that. And then there's another sheet associated to there that identifies, as you're like skimming through and reading this. Are you passing this around to the group to take a look at as well?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll pass one to each of them.
All right. So the first sheet that you kind of get there, Chad, is basically what you read on this is identifies the Latin chant as having been derived from the book called De Vermis Mysterious. It also states that, while the original chant detailed the ritual for releasing the spirit trapped inside the ancient amber, several words within the incantation have been replaced, changing the original summoning ritual to one of exorcism so that it may be used to dispel the vile spirit currently trapped in the attic. Rex, the sheet that you get, basically the pentagram. So it contains a description of the pentagram and says the symbols must be drawn as part of the ritual. And then Jerome, 3 sheets discuss the procedure of the ritual itself, which it identifies in there from Mary and Ellen that will at least take an hour to perform and must be started at midnight. And while at least one person speaks aloud the ritual phrases, another person must draw the pentagram on the floor, while another burns a certain combination of chemicals in a fire nearby. It also mentions that the chemicals resemble a brown kind of powder, which it states that it has already been prepared and stored with the papers in a metal canister, and so it's ready for use. And so it says, while one person may perform the ritual chant, it recommends that several people take part, allowing each individual to occasionally interrupt their chanting without disturbing the overall ritual or its potency. So if the chant is continuous, with at least one person reciting and repeating the phrases aloud, this should make the spirit sort of kind of succumb to the exorcism. However, it also puts a warning at the bottom of these pages that even the slightest disruption of the chanting may result in failure, requiring another ritual to be performed on a following night. And the note suggests that during the ritual, a watcher be posted, lest the sorcerers be disrupted by the nuisances and distractions of malevolent spirits. So thus the sheets confirm that a 2-hour ritual using the chant provided, begun at midnight, will drive off the unwanted spirits.
So,
And what time is it now?
Synchronized pocket watches.
Yeah, you guys get that moment where you all look at each other and you all look down at like pocket watches and stuff. And we're looking at 11:25, boys.
Oh,
we could do this tonight.
Yeah, we could, and we should.
I think those chemicals we need might be in that box we found downstairs.
That's right. Go back down there and check.
All right, gentlemen.
Bring those robes up, I say.
Here's what I propose. I'll man the fire and be Overwatch. Professor, you with your day in, day out hand on the chalkboard, grading papers, teaching lessons, you should be in control of drawing that symbol. And Chad, you are prime chanter. What do you think?
Sounds good.
What, I was just trying to think, does anybody have good skill in, I guess there's fast talk. I guess that's probably not needed.
I have persuade. I am also an artist by trade, but a sculptor. So, I would be happy to
maybe you should
draw it
and I
if
should
you don't want to. Yeah.
Because I have no draw skill, no art skill. I do have charm, 50. And
charm, okay. Yeah. What kind of skills would this take? Like
my language is 80, so maybe chant. That might help
good.
with chanting without being interrupted.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you would need for the chanting. That it could be Constitution or something, just to like go continuously.
Yeah, so more likely than not, there won't be any required role for the chanting that you'd have to do per se, because there's obviously English versions of it. If you're reading the language in the Latin one, then there'd probably be a check for the fact of you not knowing the language and having to like kind of work through it. So yeah, that would be it. So any of you could do the chant.
Well, we don't have much time. We better get this set up quickly.
Yeah, good idea.
So you have the box?
Yeah, I'll bring up the box and I'll bring up, I'll open it. I want to make sure there's some kind of drawing implement inside of it. If there isn't, I'll maybe scan the shelves and try to find something.
So yeah, what are you guys doing, all you, at this point? So you've read all the information. You guys are upstairs right now. You're still standing there with flashlights and everything else like that.
I think Chad
I'm going downstairs to check that box, the cigar box, and to bring up some robes.
Yeah, and I head into the other room where the fireplace is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll finish breaking up that table in the basement to make some firewood.
Oh, right. I'm guessing when you go to the fireplace there, Jerome, you're probably going to be moving furniture around and everything else.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good place to draw the pentagram.
For sure. Yeah, if you moved the couch, if you like push it to the side, to the south wall, you could basically draw a pentagram dead center. So that'll probably be your best spacing. So you'll be doing that.
Yeah.
For yourself, Chad and Rex, you guys kind of head downstairs. You take stock of what you got down there. So Chad, first off, you head over to the trunk and you secure this cigar box. That's what you want to go down there, and you were going to look at the shelves too?
Yeah, if the cigar box doesn't have any drawing implements in it to make the pentagram.
So as you open it, it's sort of like a 1870s old school cigar box.
Mm-hmm.
As you open it inside, a small metal canister, it contains a coarse and brownish powder,
Mm-hmm.
and a smaller wooden box with a sliding lid. And within that smaller box is a silvery talcum powder-like substance. And so you got those two things.
And this talcum powder could maybe be used to draw something. Would I have any awareness of it? Could I rub it between my fingers and see if it leaves stain on them?
Let's see, as you kind of take a look at this, this kind of talcum powder, and you kind of rub it, you're not quite sure what it is. Make an intelligence check.
So that would be just rolling under the stat.
Yeah.
That rolls. And I rolled over it by 3. 83. Damn. No luck today.
Yeah, you're like, you should know what this is, but you can't put your finger on it. It wasn't mentioned in the instructions, you don't think, because the brown powder was kind of identified. But for some odd reason, like, you have a feeling that this was mentioned somewhere else.
All right. Oh, grab 3 robes, bring this stuff upstairs. Maybe before I do that, I will do a quick scan of the shelves.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find some chalk for sure. And just for that talcum powder, it's kind of like the powdery substance is somewhat like a graphite kind of deal. So when you're rubbing it, kind of adheres to your skin.
Right.
And it's like a greasy feel.
Okay. Greasy.
So,
interesting. Yeah. Okay. I have no idea what that is. I'll bring it up. Maybe someone else knows.
As for yourself, Rex, as you take stock of what's down in the basement, you find, you can see the 8-foot ladder that's sort of down there. You see a pile of lumber. So this is like wooden boards, right? Like some pretty solid and sturdy wooden boards. You find a bag of rusted nails down there, a wooden box with some old tools, a hammer, handsaw, hand drill, 3 different bits, chisel, a rasp in a corner. So that's kind of the materials that you are taking stock of down here. And there's canned food, there's alcohol.
Fellas, time for me to retire and become a carpenter. Yeah, I will make my way over to the alcohol and I will take a swig, and then I'm going to cut to busting up some of these boards and stuff for the firewood to make the fire to ignite the brown powder.
You go to work. Jerome, you finished moving everything and you've wide enough berth at the fireplace.
Beauty.
And you're going to start drawing this, do your hand at drawing this thing?
Well, no, the instructions said that we needed to draw it as we were doing the ritual, right?
I think it said the symbols, but I don't know, I read that as the symbols had to be drawn. So
Not
you
the
might be able to
pentagram.
draw the basic shape, or is that too complex?
It has to be drawn, so it has to be a part of the ritual. So you don't have to draw it while you're doing the ritual. So you can draw it ahead of time for sure.
There is one thing that I'm going to do after I bust up the firewood, is I'm going to save a few of the planks, and using them rusty nails and hammers, I'm going to actually barricade us in the doors. And that's more for the point of, just in case someone from the outside physically tries to come in, I don't want them to be able to access us, but we'll keep the pry bar or whatever handy in case we need to exit out. But I don't want anyone to be able to access the front or back door while we're doing this.
No, that seems like a good idea. So I don't have the drawing stuff, so Chad, I point to the area and say we should draw the pentagram here as I grab one of the robes from you and throw it over my shoulders.
Yeah, and Chad, you're able to find some chalk. That's what they identified. Well, that's what they used previously, and you're able to find some. So, yeah, you could utilize that for sure.
I'll get to drawing. I'm comfortable doing that. That's fine. Before I do that, I will hand Professor the box of powder, a small box with a sliding lid. Say to him, see if you can't make sense of this stuff. I can't quite identify.
I will inspect the box of powder.
Let us see. So you inspect the box of powder. You have chemistry, right? Or pharmacy?
I have geology and medicine
balls.
and archaeology.
No, you don't really have anything that would identify this powder. You'd assume that this was for obviously the fire pit, part of the ritual. As for the smaller box, you can roll an intelligence check in regards to that.
Major success.
You're thinking to yourself, you're trying to recall that one of them in the ritual decided to throw some powder on the Djinn when they summoned it.
Right. Do we still have the journal, don't we? Yeah, so I open the journal to read, and I pull up the page. You
pull up the page March 20th, and you're like skimming through, and you get to the passage. The thing formed in the center of the pentagram, shapeless and nearly invisible. Its terrible voice should have given us a clue, but we were so foolish. It spoke, and Alan cast that damn powder on the Djinn, the dust of Ibn Ghazi, he calls it, and that's when we could all see it clearly. So in reading that and putting it together, you're assuming this is the dust of Ibn Ghazi.
And the new papers we found don't say anything about the dust of Ibn Ghazi.
Not that's needed in the ritual. So Rex, you're rolling upstairs. You've now broken up the wood. Saying you guys have about 20 minutes until midnight, and Rex is getting to work on boarding up some windows and things.
I'm going to board up whatever we can in that short time frame. I just want to be able to prevent outside physical things from trying to get in.
Yeah, I can bring you the boards while Chad's drawing the pentagram.
Are you going to get the fire started?
Yeah.
So the fire starts, so it illuminates the room a bit to help, obviously, Chad draw this symbol on the ground. In the room that you guys are in right now, there are 3 windows. So one window to the north, which has a desk in front of it, and then 2 windows to the south that could possibly be boarded up. In the other room with the stairs leading down to the attic, there is 4 windows and a back door. So there's a lot of windows to sort of get to. So it looks like Jerome and yourself, Rex, will be doing that and hammering away and lighting stuff up. As Chad, you are drawing this pentagram.
I just have a nasty hunch that the things that this thing has interacted with, it might be able to turn against us for some reason. So after witnessing that thing flying through the air, I think it's best that the less we see to distract us, the better.
Chad, as you're drawing this in the center of the room, you kind of hear like thudding of footsteps. And you feel like these footsteps stop right above you. You just get an overbearing feeling that something is watching you directly from above.
Okay, I'm going to, I'm not going to make a note of it or bring it to attention to anyone else. I will take a deep breath and continue drawing.
Yeah, you just feel the hairs on the back of your neck like kind of standing up.
Right? Just internally tell myself, keep it cool, steady hand, keep drawing.
And while we're working, I'm checking my pocket watch to make sure around like 5 to midnight we're getting ready. Yeah,
you guys are moving pretty quick. You didn't have a lot of time to board up all the doors and windows, I'd say, so you guys did an okay job. Like, they're secure. You guys are able to get the fire set up, and it's going, so you have a lot of light in the room now. You guys are donned in your robes kind of deal, and without any concern, you're able to complete the symbol that is identified on the paper there, Chad. Pretty dang good.
Once I've completed it, I am going to hastily make my way downstairs and grab one of those fine bottles of alcohol. And on my way up, I will be taking a big swig of it on the stairs. Calm the nerves.
I want to make sure I'm also kind of situated in the part of the room that allows me the best tactical cover of the situation, watching the other 2 to make sure they're out of harm's way, and if, to best kind of deal potentially with any distractions.
And I say to Chad that now that we got the pentagram done, maybe we should be both chanting this.
Should we start now, or should we start it at midnight?
All right, so time's ticking down. You guys have about 5 minutes.
O spirits, you I exercise by the power of wisdom, virtue, by the divine knowledge, by the dark void, by the name of the old ones, the root, trunk, source, and origin of all the other divine names, whence they all draw their life and their power. I exercise you by the name Nyarlathotep, signifying the most excellent bringer of wisdom, His Majesty so high and brighter than the stars of the void. I exercise you by the most powerful name of Azathoth, the all-powerful, who shall punish the crimes. I exercise you, and I command you absolutely, O demon, in whatsoever part of the universe you may be, by the virtue of all these names, hear you and obey.
You have been listening to Cthulhu at Night. Thank you for joining us. Links relevant to this podcast will be in the show notes. Our fine investigative team from the Society for the Exploration of the Unexplained will return in Edge of Darkness, Part 5. Good night.
Exuberant. Nice.
Beauty.
Yeah, there's the Nyarlathotep. If you want to hear how to pronounce that name, yeah, there's the link right in there.
Nyarlathotep.
Yeah, you have to say it's that.
Very nasally.
It's like comes through the nose. Yeah. Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep.
Wow.
Yeah, it is hard to say.
If you're feeling that it's a little tough, you can slow it down, and I'll speed it up when the actual recording. If you want to slow it down.
Yeah, I just have to be able to get it out at least once. Nyarlathotep.
There you go.
If you can't get it, Chris will just clip it in for the 8 seconds.
Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep.